Welcome to another Cardano update. So after a million years of doing absolutely nothing, Cardano has finally done something. Now before I talk about this, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So Cardano finally did something. Well, it did not do a good thing because it went to the downside, but this move to the downside is actually not that bearish. And in this video, I actually want to compare what's happening right now to what happened a couple of months ago. Now, if you look at the 4-hour RSI, we got to the oversold territory, and this is actually a good thing because, for example, usually when we get to the oversold territory, we go up after that. Now, of course, it doesn't always happen, but it's usually a good sign, and usually this means that the low has formed. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. But if we get above the trend line again, and then if we get above, let's say, about $1.17, then the low will most likely be in already. But like I said, it is possible that we just do, what we did here. And what did we do right here? Well, right here, we actually got to the oversold territory 5 times before we continued to go into the upside. Right now, we got to the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart 4 times. So we'll see if we actually bounce or not. But keep in mind, even if we do not really, get a new high right now or very, very soon, I'm still expecting Cardano to at least go up in the short term because it was oversold on the 4-hour, and here, for example, it went from about 88 cents all the way up to like $1.16 just because it got to the oversold territory. And this is another example here. It bounced from 75 cents all the way up to like $1. So yeah, this usually means that we have to get some kind of at least short-term move to the upside. Now, if you look at what happened here, before we had a 300% pump in November, like I said, we went to the oversold territory multiple times, actually 5 times. And as you can see, after we got to the oversold territory for the 5th time, we bounced, but this was actually not a new low of the second wave right here. Now you could say that maybe this was an ABC structure, maybe this was some kind of flat structure, and maybe this right here was the second wave move down. But even so, as you can see, this shows us that we do not really have to get another low in order for Cardano to be able to start going up again. Now let me get rid of this from the chart because we don't really need it anymore. I think you get the point now. And we'll see if we get another low or not. Keep in mind, if we do get another low, I think that could put us at about 72.7 cents, which is the 0.382 support level of the first wave move to the upside. Now, I don't really want to see the price drop that low because that would put us in between the bull market support band. And like I said, I'm not really a fan of that. I don't really want to see that. If we do that, then we will most likely get a cross on the bull market support band. And that would not be the best thing in the world because if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, for example, during the bull market, during the altcoin season, after we had a cross on the bull market support band where the green line went above the red line, we never had another cross for the entirety of the third wave move to the upside. So as you can see, from the start of the main third wave, after the 1-2 setup here, after we had the cross, we never really got another cross. We only got a cross after the third wave was finished, and right now, keep in mind, we just had a cross on the bull market support band up here, well, down here actually, and the green line went above the red line, and right now, the green line is still above the red line, and if we want to do what we did in the previous cycle, we cannot really afford for the green line to go below the red line, because that would give us a cross. And why is a cross not bullish? Because, for example, the last time we had a cross was up here, when Cardano topped in the first wave of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup that I have on the chart right here. And yeah, after that, it just went down for about 6 months. So obviously, we do not really want to see that. Now, keep in mind, Cardano is still on an uptrend right now, so that's good. Well, it's not really in an uptrend anymore. I think I can get rid of the trend line right now because, this right here is just sideways price action. It's not really an uptrend anymore. However, if you go on the 4-hour chart, the third wave up here of the 1-2 setup that we have on the chart could still work as an ABC structure. So you could take this as some kind of ABC and we'll see if we get that or not. Keep in mind, to invalidate the whole 1-2 setup, first we have to go below this low here. I mean, that's not going to invalidate the structure, but it's definitely going to increase the chances that we do invalidate it. And once we get below 82 cents, I think it's very likely that we get below 76 cents as well. And that would invalidate the 1-2 setup. Like I said, it would not be bearish, but it would definitely not be too bullish either, because, you know, in the previous cycle, for example, we went up about 140% in January. In this cycle, I mean, from the start of January, I believe we're only up like 10%. Now, we went up like 30% here, but then we went down. So yeah, I mean, compared to what happened in the previous cycle exactly 4 years ago, we are underperforming. However, if you zoom out, you have to know that we are still ahead of schedule, whether you like to admit it or not. In the previous cycle, exactly 4 years ago, Cardano was at about, let's say 35 cents or so, and that was still about 70% down from the previous all-time high. Right now, Cardano is at about 90 cents, and I believe that's like 67% away from the previous all-time high. So we are actually doing better than we were doing in the previous cycle. So like I said, there's nothing to complain about right now. Also, keep in mind, there is a lot of resistance right here at the 0.618 support, well, the resistance level of the previous all-time high. And I did tell you that it's going to be difficult to get above this level. We actually got rejected by this level multiple times. We got rejected here, 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 here. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to get above it. But I think that once we get above it, that's when Cardano will finally be able to, you know, get to the previous all-time highs. And I think that once we start the move to the upside, it's not going to stop for some time. Now, keep in mind, I'm still expecting Cardano to top by the end of this year. I'm not expecting it to just continue going up until 2026, obviously not. And yeah, if we want to get to all-time highs, I mean, we should start doing that right now. Keep in mind, in the previous cycle, after we pretty much went sideways in January, at the end of January, in February, we actually went up from about 30 cents all the way up to like $1.50. And you know, this is when Bitcoin dominance was actually going sideways. So even if Bitcoin dominance continues to go sideways right now, there is a chance for Cardano to just start going up on its own, because it did that in the previous cycle. Now, I don't know if that will happen or not. We'll have to wait and see. But keep in mind, in this cycle, we did not go up 140% before going sideways in January. We just went up like 30% and then we went sideways. I mean, we're still going sideways, whether you like to admit it or not. But like I told you many times, this is not bearish, and I still think that Cardano will be able to get to at least $5 by the end of the cycle. That's pretty much my minimum target. I also want to talk about the RSI. The daily RSI, I mean, it's currently at like 41 and Cardano is at about 90 cents right now. And this is very bullish because the last time we were at a daily RSI of like 41 was down here. And during that time, Cardano was at about 31 cents. Right now, we are at the exact same RSI and the price is 3 times higher. So this is still bullish to me. I don't really get why people are bearish. And also, let me talk about the third wave to the upside. Like I told you many times, the minimum target for the third wave is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup on the chart, and that is at $2.98. But like I told you, it could overextend. I'm not gonna repeat myself today. I don't really want to do that. I actually want to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart as well. And as you can see, Bitcoin dominance is still in a lower high structure, so we still did not really break above the previous highs right here, which is good, but it's still going up and I'm not really liking this. I mean, it has been like what, about 67 days since the cross on the bull market support band and nothing has really happened. But you know, this makes sense because at the end of the day, there's nothing happening in crypto right now. Nobody seems to really care about it right now because there's literally no news. And yeah, I think people are just waiting for some kind of news. Now, if Bitcoin dominance continues going up and if it somehow gets above 59.96%, there is a chance that we test the 0.618 resistance level again. And I think that once we do that, that will trigger the altcoin season. But like I said, we still had a cross on the bull market support band like 60 days ago, 67 days ago, I say. and the red line of the bull market support band is still above the green line, and that's a good sign. This usually means that we are about to get a big move to the downside. This has happened multiple times in the previous cycles, so I don't think this cycle will be any different, no matter how you want to look at it. Also, Bitcoin, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin is also oversold on the 4-hour chart, and this is also bullish because the last time it was oversold, it was at about $89,000. Down here, when it got to the oversold territory, it got to about $97,000, so we are still in an uptrend, and by the looks of it, Bitcoin is getting stronger and stronger. Now, if you look at Ethereum, Ethereum is a different story. It has been underperforming compared to what it did in the previous 2 cycles, but that's not really a bad thing because it has only been underperforming in January. Now, if it continues being, bad in February, then maybe we'll have to change some things on my predictions. But yeah, if only 1 month is different, then, there's nothing to complain about, at least not right now. I'm still expecting Ethereum to get to all-time highs very, very soon, and whenever that happens, of course, Cardano will be able to go up as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.